Hey, it's Maris. Welcome back to my channel where I review horror books with a supernatural focus. Sorry there was no video last week, but I've been sick with this cough that just will not go away. I tried to make a video, but just every 2 or 3 words I'm just coughing, and it is just so not fun and does not come out very well. I'm still coughing, but it is a little better, so let's see how it goes. In today's video, I put together some books that I think you will like for this month of May. They're coming out this month. I think they sound really good, so I'm hoping that you'll be able to find something here and add them to your summer reading TBR. I also wanted to say a really big thank you to everyone who left such amazing, nice comments. I made a community post like a week or so ago, just sort of sharing like what's kind of been going on with me, because I haven't really said much about it lately. And it wasn't like anything too serious, but just kind of like, you know, how I'm doing and things like that. And the comments were just really, really nice and encouraging and supportive. And I really, really appreciate that. So thank you so much. Things are definitely, you know, getting easier settling in here, but there are still a lot of challenges and things I need to do. And my belongings from Berlin have still not arrived. So there's still this limbo, you know, between me and Germany, and I really want to sever that. I just really want to cut that out of my life and be able to move on. But until then, you know, I have to wait. So it's supposed to be here June 16th. It was supposed to be here May 30th. It was supposed to be here in April. But as shipping seems to be these days, it's who knows, you know? So hopefully it arrives and it's in one piece and all of my stuff is there and we're good to go. I did also recently get diagnosed with ADHD, which was not a shocker for me. It's something that I kind of considered. Mainly I had watched this video and it was ADHD in women. And it was a video that I watched, like not watching it for ADHD. I just watched it because I liked the girl's channel. I just liked all her videos and she talks about all kinds of stuff. And when I saw this video and it was a list, like it was like 10 things, I was like, that is my whole personality. And I'd never seen myself, I guess, presented in any kind of format like that where I was like, oh, that's me, you know? So it got me thinking a lot, and I think it makes a lot of sense for my life and everything. So I am trying medication for that, and I will see how that goes. So this is just kind of a new thing that's been added. I feel like this whole year is kind of just about like new things, obviously. So I'm trying really hard to figure better ways of doing things that are good and healthy for me. And so it's a process. With my new job, which is going well, but it's extremely chaotic, with also still trying to settle in here, trying to figure out ways of, you know, I need a car, I need a bunch of little things that I need to do. All that's going to take a lot of time. Also recovering from the relationship and trying to figure out who I am and what I'm doing, and it's a lot. I'm sure some of you have already been down this road before, so you know what it's kind of like, you know. So with everything in Berlin still not being here, I still feel in limbo. You know, I still feel like I'm not totally free. So that is holding me back a little bit. But otherwise, I think things are going good. I'm feeling good about the future in a lot of ways, and just trying to make sure that whatever direction I go into is a good and healthy one for me. And that's just my goal for this year, I think. So thank you so much for hanging on with me and going through these processes with me and stuff like that. I'm definitely not on social media very much anymore. I feel like I really needed to put that aside. And I will be rebranding the whole channel at some point. And I've decided to do that because when I made this intro and chose the music and, you know, was kind of choosing the whole theme for how the channel was looking, which was kind of like this abandoned mansion theme. I made that in Berlin and I was so happy with it and so proud of it. I spent so much time on it, but it reminds me too much of Berlin, and I need to let it go. So that'll be changing. I don't know what it's going to be yet. I'm still trying to figure out like what this channel should look like, you know? Of course, I love abandoned mansions, but I just really don't want to do that for now. So I don't know. I mean, if you guys have any suggestions, let me know down in the comments. Some people had suggested like spooky diner or haunted castle, things like that. So let me know what your thoughts are. I was kind of going maybe in a liminal space, which is what I've been kind of doing lately, because I really like that a lot. I feel like that's kind of where I'm at. You know, I'm kind of in this liminal space in my life, I think. But, you know, I'm sure you guys have some better ideas that would inspire me. So let me know. So let's go ahead and jump into this video. But before we do that, if you would like to get more videos from me, please hit that subscribe button and be sure to like and comment down below, share with me and share with others what you think about these books. Before we begin, I do have 2 honorable mentions, and I'm not going to talk about them because I talked about them in a previous video, but you should definitely check them out. They are coming out this month as well. The House That Horror Builds by Christina Henry and My Darling Dreadful Thing by Johanna von Veen, also coming out on the 14th. So definitely check those out. I'll try and find that video and put a link up here. Woodworm by Leila Martinez is coming out on May 14th. This is a supernatural story. It is translated from Spanish into English, and it goes like this. The house breathes. The house contains bodies and secrets. The house is visited by ghosts, by angels that line the roof like insects, and by saints that burn the bedsheets with their halos. Such a good opener, completely riveted by that. It was built by a small-town hustler as a means of controlling his wife, and even after so many years, their daughter and her granddaughter can't leave. They may be witches or they may be just angry. But when the mysterious disappearance of a young boy draws unwanted attention, the 2 isolated women, already subjects of scorn, combine forces with the spirits that haunt them in pursuit of something that resembles justice. This eerie debut novel is a class-conscious horror that drags generations of monsters into the sun. If you remember Mariana Enriquez, I talked about her in another video. This is Through the Night Like a Snake. These are Latin American horror stories, and I did read her story in here called That Summer. It was really good. Really, really good. She has described this book as a house of women and shadows built from poetry and revenge. This is a vision of a broken family in our unjust world, places power in the hands of the eccentric, the radical, and the desperate. You Like It Darker by Stephen King. It comes out on May 21st. You probably heard of it. It's a new short story collection, and there are some stories in here that have never been published. So it's not all new stories, but there is a sequel to Cujo in here as well. Two Talented Bastards explores the long-hidden secret of how the eponymous gentlemen got their skills. In Danny Coughlin's Bad Dream, a brief and unprecedented psychic flash upends dozens of lives, mostly Danny. In Rattlesnakes, a sequel to Cujo, a grieving widower travels to Florida for respite and instead receives an unexpected inheritance with major strings attached. It's definitely going to be like one of those things where when people leave their pets in their will and they're like, you know, Mr. Fluffy is going to live in a golden palace until the end of his days or something. It's going to be like that, but probably because it's a rattlesnake, or maybe it needs to be fed certain types of things or people. I don't know. You could do a lot with that. In The Dreamers, a tax-returned Vietnam vet answers a job ad and learns that there are some corners of the universe best left unexplored. The Answer Man asks if prescience is good luck or bad, and reminds us that a life marked by unbearable tragedy can still be meaningful. Undead Folk by Catherine Silver. This is going to be for you folk horror fans, but also for you apocalyptic fans. Beyond the smoke-choked skies of an apocalyptic United States, a woman travels the desolate railroad tracks of a small town in search of revenge and a quiet place to settle. Ah, yes. A little revenge and a little peace. Her companion is an undead fox, animated with backwoods herbal magic, and the soul of a middle-aged father who died before the world fell into darkness. This is a short, harrowing tale of sacrifice, loss, and damnation. I love this visual. This woman walking in this, hellish landscape and has this undead fox beside her. I love it. From the Belly by Emmett Nahil. This comes out on May 30th. If you remember last year, we had that book Whale Fall by Daniel Kraus, and that features a whale just like From the Belly does. So I'm really liking this whale horror that's kind of surfacing, I guess we could say. I'm enjoying that. I did see this review for this book, and it says, a bizarrely compelling romance fused with a deeply disturbing tale of deep-sea vengeance and aquatic body horror. This will get inside your head. Let it. The whaling vessel Merciful has just made its strangest catch yet. A massive whale containing a still living man secreted within its stomach lining. Sailor Isaiah Chase is tasked with keeping the enigmatic man alive. As the relationship grows, a series of accidents, injuries, and deaths quickly befall the ship and its crew. Isaiah is plagued by strangely prophetic dreams, even as the crew continues their endless quest for whale oil under the command of an increasingly unhinged captain. As events spiral further out of control, the mysterious man confesses what Isaiah has begun to suspect. The crew of the Merciful has fallen into a cycle of punishment for their greed and destruction. Isaiah must confront the sea's vengeance made flesh and choose between his new, strange love and the fate of the ship itself. It sounds something like a little biblical, a little bit. There's definitely some kind of punishment for sins here. And also the vessel itself is called the Merciful, which I think that plays very well into this storyline. There's a captain who's going nuts, and a crazy captain is always really entertaining. The crew is probably also losing it. And there's also a romance here with this, I'm assuming, the man in the stomach. So it's intriguing, and I really love the cover. You can see like the barnacles on the face of the character on the cover. It's really cool. Blood Covenant by Alan Baxter comes out May 30th. Whatever happens, don't bleed. What should have been a breeze of a bank heist for James Glenn and his crew goes violently wrong, forcing them to flee, bloodstained and angry. They stumble onto a remote lodge that doesn't open for another month. A perfect place to lie low until the heat's off. Except it's occupied. The Moore family just arrived to prepare for the season, are taken hostage by the criminals, but not without bloodshed. And when blood gets spilled, something ancient notices, something malevolent, something ravenous. Their only hope is the youngest Moore teenager, Reuben, outside and unseen when James and his gang arrive. It's up to Reuben to get help and save his family, but the influence of the ancient evil is taking a toll on him as well. There is a line here also after the synopsis, and it says, Paul Tremblay's The Cabin at the End of the World meets Adam Neville's The Ritual with a monstrous reinvention. We'll see. I really like it when there's like some kind of real world situation, like this family being taken hostage by these criminals, but then there's like some supernatural aspect that comes into play, completely changes the game. So it makes it very interesting. Now this next book, it already came out at the end of April, but I wanted to include it because it just sounds really interesting and fun. And, it's the end of April, so you could just, scoot it on in there. This is Children of the Dark 2, The Night Flyers by Jonathan Jantz. Last summer, 16-year-old Will Burgess lost many of the people he loved most. Now he's imprisoned in the Sunny Woods Rehabilitation Center, a facility for troubled youths. Separated from his survived loved ones and terrified of a change inside of him, Will is tormented by a new group of bullies and a sadistic government doctor. When his only ally, an orderly named Pierre, tells him that there have been sightings of winged creatures with glowing red eyes, Will believes him, because Will has already seen them. Even worse, he learns the monstrous children are still lurking underground. They want revenge on Will, and will stop at nothing to destroy everyone he cares about. Will and his friends, new and old, must band together to fight the forces of darkness, both human and supernatural. But as Will learned last summer, evil is relentless and it won't rest until its hunger is sated. So there's a lot of fun things going on in here. I like institutional horror, orphanages, asylums, prisons. This one's a rehabilitation center. We also have some type of hideous children out for blood. We have these flying creatures. It just sounds like there's a lot of fun things going on here. So into this. This last one is called 13 Haunted Houses. This is a horror collection of only haunted house horror. Yes, I'm so excited. Usually when I buy short story collections, there's like one or two, maybe like ghost stories in there, and I will always read those first. But in this case, they're all haunted house stories and they sound very good. They have authors in here like Ramsey Campbell, Sarah Tatlinga, and Philip Fracassi. Weird House Press has gathered 13 of the finest voices in modern horror to construct and breathe unlife into haunted houses of their own. In these pages, you will find cliffside mansions brimming with death, lighthouses that serve as beacons of madness, and cursed architecture with a mind of its own. Explore abandoned homes with dark secrets and stand face to face with malevolent specters and demonic spirits. I mean, that's everything I always want all the time. So I really want to get this. I'm very excited. The one thing that I'm always kind of nervous about though with short stories, usually just in horror in general, but also very much in the haunted house genre, is that usually there's not enough time to build the tension and the suspense. And I think with ghost stories, you really need that a lot. So even though I'm kind of expecting that to be truncated a bit, I hope it's hope it's not. So I'm still excited though. It sounds really good. So those were the books that I picked out for May that I think sound awesome and interesting. I hope there was something here that you would like to pick up and try out and read. Other than that, please take care of yourselves, look out for each other, and I will see you in the next video.